Morning, Ation, outside the box. It's Friday. Let's get it. So, I come to you humbly today. If you can bear with me at the shaking of my device, forgive me as I ride, but I had to get this to you right away, so listen in. Pride, a proud look, is a monster. Talks about the things that God hates, and one of them is a proud look. Very dangerous thing. And we know that the God of love does have some hates, some hates that he exhibits. And one of those things that he hates is a proud look. The dangerous thing about a proud look is that it can creep up on you and you not even know it's there. You don't have to be yelling from the mountaintop, telling people how great you are, or how much you think you're better than everybody else. Now, before we go any further on the subject matter, I'm going to tell you something right now. Do not allow the enemy to beat you down to a pulp, to a dark space where you think you're not worthy because you didn't pay attention and know that this was there. Many of us walk through life not realizing that there's a lot of things that we don't know about ourselves, and it started very, very young. You ever heard the word countenance? It's spoken down in Genesis in the time when Cain killed Abel, when his countenance fell. Sometimes our countenance can fall, which means our demeanor, our personality, or the look or expression of our faces. Many times our countenance falls at a very, very young age. Somebody broke your spirit. They said something to break you down. And from that moment, you took on this imagery and this space that had to do with a proud look and didn't even know it was there. So sometimes your countenance can affect who you become, but it could very subtly creep into your life and be a part of your life and rest there for many years. And you don't know it's necessarily dormant, and it may not even be dormant because it may come out in your speech. It may come out in the way you view people around you in the world. It may not have to be a news flash or a broadcast that you're putting out to the world that you're prideful or you have a proud look. A proud look could simply just mean you think you're better than others around you, or you put yourself in a superior position and you have an opinion about everything that everybody else does, and you want to try to voice that or maybe infuse it into situations or conversations wherever you see fit. Very dangerous thing. And what it does also, it's the apex of evil, you know. And I never knew that the extreme of it, or how it could develop bad relationship bondings with people, especially if you're around people who promote it and are okay with it. It's a very dangerous space to live in and live the rest of your life, especially when you know and you read your word and you understand how God sees it. I tell you this, you know, when the Bible talks to us a lot about you thinking yourself highly than you are, or people thinking that they're better than others, it's a very dangerous space that God would not have us go, because he would always counter that with humility and love. And that's something that I think that if we don't get those two things, humility and love, then everything else we do becomes faulty or fractured. And so when Jesus said, whosoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whosoever humbles himself will be exalted, that's the space I want to live in. That's the space that I've given myself over to Christ for purpose, and to walk in that, and to understand that the more I humble myself, the more I drop myself, the more I lean not to my own understanding, but in all my ways acknowledge him. He'll direct my paths and make them straight. I know for a fact that God will restore, that we will develop healthy relationships, and that for you and I, we can walk in a space where we can bring life to people when we step into their environment, and be a factor, have an impact, and be used by him for the gifts that he put us here to exhibit, for his glory, not our own. And then you won't have to worry about what everybody else is doing, because you can focus on what he gave you. Ation outside the box, thank you for listening. As always, I hope I blessed you as much as you are blessed to me. Thank you for being a part. Ation outside the box, and I'm signing off.